Hi, so today we're going to make corn chowder. If you look back at one of the videos that I just did, I did a chicken stock out of a rotisserie chicken. So I'm using that stock today to make this chowder. So I have about 4 cups of chicken that I took off of the bone. The rotisserie chicken, it's already cooked. Took it off, diced it up. I have some Yukon Gold potatoes, about 3 cups. I have 3 cups of corn. You can either use, this is fresh corn that I just put in a dry pan and browned up a little bit. It's a nice roasted flavor. You can do barbecued corn, you can do frozen corn. There's a lot of different options with your corn. Frozen is best. Don't use canned corn. It doesn't have the same bite to it. So once you put it in the soup, it kind of turns to mush. This is about 5 cups of stock. And then some sauteed onions is about 3 tablespoons, and we'll season it up with some salt and pepper and some cream at the end. Okay, so in this pot we're going to make our roux, and I have about 1/2 cup of butter and 1/2 cup of flour. And I'm just going to put some in here, and then I'm going to put the onions in as well to get them a little softened. And really these onions are minced pretty heavily, pretty light, so we'll use them for just a little flavor for the butter. And what you're looking for is the flour to cook down a little bit and combine with the butter. So a roux is usually equal parts fat and flour. Flour by volume or weight, and butter by volume. So if you have 1/2 cup of butter, it doesn't always equate to 1/2 cup of flour. So it kind of makes a thick paste. We're going to let this cook down for just a few minutes so the flour cooks out. This chowder does not need too much thickening because we're going to add potatoes to it, and the potatoes will also thicken it. It's also, everything is already cooked with the exception of the potatoes, so we're going to do this on medium heat. I'm going to let it go just until the potatoes are softened. You don't really want the potatoes done, otherwise you get mashed potato chowder. And probably about 40 minutes, medium heat. Check your potatoes. If the potatoes are done, the chowder is done. So it's a really quick one, especially when you're using a rotisserie chicken. Making the stock from the rotisserie chicken, and then just some corn and potatoes. We're going to garnish this out with some of the chicken skin and some green onions and some bacon, cheddar cheese. You can spice this up if you want. If you want to make a little bit of a different flavor, it's easy to kind of play with. You can do like a Mexican one, add some green chilies and some cumin and some chili powder. And you can actually add it at this stage where you have your roux going to brown it up a little bit. I'm going to finish this with cream after it's gone for about an hour. And we're going to bring this up with a little bit of stock. You don't want to really add all the stock at one time because it makes it really difficult to break up that flour. So just add a little bit, let it come together, let the flour break up. Bring this to a simmer and then add the rest of the stock and the rest of the ingredients. I like to not season it at this point. I wait until it's pretty close to done. That way I have an idea of what all the flavors are going to be. If I added some salt to the corn, or if the chicken had a lot of seasoning on it. So if you look at it, all the roux is already in it. It's coming to a simmer. And we're just going to add the rest of this for the base. Always make sure when you're making soup, bigger pot than you need. Always happens to me. I think I only need this much, and then I end up with way more. So I'm going to add the potatoes. Add the corn. I'm going to let this simmer for a little bit and then I will add the chicken in. Chicken's already cooked and it'll break down quite a bit in the soup, so I'm going to let it go for just a little while. So maybe let it go for like a half an hour and then add the chicken, because you really just want to warm the chicken through at this point. It's already cooked and diced, so it'll heat up pretty nicely quick. All right, so we'll let this go and I'll come back in just a few minutes or just a little bit and we'll let you see what it's like when we put the garnishments on it. All right, so this has been going for about a half an hour. We're just going to add the chicken to it. I'm going to turn it down just a little bit. I'm going to add the cream, so you want it to kind of be a medium-low heat for the cream so it doesn't curdle. At this point we'll add the salt and pepper. So the potatoes, you kind of want to make sure that they're soft but not mushy. And the potatoes thicken this quite a bit. Maybe just a little bit more salt. I'm just going to add a cup of cream to it. This is half and half. We're just going to let that sit for 5-10 minutes until it gets the chicken warm and it's ready to go. So you could have this dinner ready using a rotisserie chicken, your own stock. You could have the corn in the freezer. All you have to do is cut up some potatoes, put it together, and really you could have a meal in 30 to 40 minutes. This is a great, hearty, warm, comforting dish for dinner.